Well, good evening to you. Well, it's evening here. Who knows when you'll see this. This is my Sebo Automatic X4 Extra 1300 watt blah blah. Oh, hiya, pal. Hiya. Oh, it wouldn't be a video unless we said hi. Oh, no enjoying that? He's a bit scabby, poor thing, but apart from that, you're all good, aren't you? Any more complaints? He's muttering. Tell us all your complaints. Oh yeah. Right, that's enough complaining. Anyway, back to the Sebo. This was on Gumtree at first for £15, and the seller had a DCO1 for £15 as well. I didn't bother about the DCO1, I've already got two. So I thought, wow, £15. So I inquired, they said, yeah, still available. Then they put the price up to £45. I'm, well, £45, I mean, it's nice. And I was on holiday at the time, so no. Anyway, then it was dropped down to £28. And I thought, ah, nice. So I got it, and here it is. In pretty perfect condition. And also came with this, which we'll go into later. And my Sebo bag, which, why didn't I show you? This didn't come with it. What's in there didn't come with it, but what's over here did. Anyway, let's have a look. Well, I'll just give you an overview, I suppose. Haven't even wiped it over, to be honest, which is why there are splats on it. I have been using it a fair bit as well. It's really quite good. It hasn't been used much, I don't think. There is some kind of bad scuffs, but overall in very good condition. I think it's a 2003 model because A, grey pedal, and B, one of the date wheel size 03. So let's just assume it was bought by it in the time of 04. You know, 16 years of use, but I don't think it's been used much. It was actually the seller's grandparents' Hoover, so they were either deceased or they'd been in care or something, or they were just cleaning out and it wasn't really getting used much. So, oh, that bit tipped over. Well, let's tip it over anyway and have a look underneath. Under here we have a brush roll, which isn't very worn at all. Blockish flap. No rubber strip, but I don't think I've ever had one that still has its rubber strip. Makes you wonder if they actually put them on in the factory. Well, of course they did, but you get my point. Bumper's alright. I haven't even wiped it over or anything. That, I think that's happened since I got it. Because I have actually been using it on hard floors. I mean, hard floors, it's fine. What? Are you going to pipe down a bit, dog? What I find on hard floors is the height adjuster thing just goes all the way flat. So it ends up kind of going the whole time you run it across the floor. And if you're going to go for anything larger than a spec, it won't pick it up. You have to pull the wand out. So if the height adjuster just went slightly higher, it would be fine. But its performance on carpets is worth it. So far I haven't changed the filters. If I can lean it back. Yep. So this is the filter pretty much as it came. You see it's pretty black on there, but it's fairly clean on the other side. I have just this evening put one of these in the washing machine to see how it comes out. So that I will update you on. If we look in here, it did come with bags, but they were paper Sebo ones, so I've been using a cloth one in. And after about 2 weeks of use, I've had it for more than 2 weeks, but I'd say about 2 weeks, it's pretty full. It does leak some dust. If I can get the light to kind of show you. Anyway, there's some dust there. This is the filter that was in it. I mean, it's slightly fuzzy because I hoovered it to check there was no excess dust on it. But it's fairly clean inside. Again, it came with a box of Sebo bags, and I'm betting that's the only box I ever had to buy. Just a hunch though. There were 6 bags with it, but I think there's only 5 in there now because I took one for another X4 just so the bag door would close. Let's chuck this bag in. One thing I do find is this plastic thing is sharp and it's actually cutting against the filter, so I suppose that's something to just be careful of. That dust smells absolutely lovely. Sarcasm, of course. Let's just shut that. Here we have the dusting brush. Probably the least used accessory. And its clamp. The hose, now this was whistling slightly. And it was quite a high frequency whistle to get my physics knowledge in there. So you might vaguely see I actually wrapped some sellotape around just to kind of seal it. It doesn't swivel now. That was just a quick fix. Spur of the moment. But it swivels on the other end, so you didn't really need to worry about that. The plug has been changed. This wasn't me who did this. And the wee the clip, they must have chopped that off as well. Maybe there was a break at the end of the cable. And when I got it, first use, it was actually cutting out of periodically. So tightened that plug up and it was fine. The rest of the flex is perfect though, and the grommet's not broken. But I'm actually going to get a flex off a fellow Sebo enthusiast, and I'll put this good flex, the correct plug and everything on this one, and then I have an X4 which will either be sold or kept for rough use. I'll just put this cable on it. Crevice tool's pretty shiny. I don't actually like using this crevice tool because it's very shiny. That is how pedantic I am. This, I think I've used this once. That fluff was in it before I got it. The wee thing for the head, whether it floats or not, I keep it on the floating position. Hose. It's a hose. It tips over like all the Sebos do. Feeds into the hose. What I find is this hose, the other X4 I have is like a 2010 model, and it's got a silver hose which is slightly thinner, and it doesn't suck itself back in here automatically. So if I'm hoovering with this or vacuuming, and I just take the hose and just drop it in like that, it instantly goes in like that. The silver one you have to kind of push it in yourself. The wand, which is also not been mashed into floors all its life, so again I don't like going about doing that because I'm going to mash it. So, you know, that's the thing of having nice machines, just get to mash them up. So yeah, I will demo that in a little while. It does vaguely work on this shag rug. You'll know my opinions on a shag rug, but oh well. Let's look at what else it came with. So it has its extension hose and the box for the extension hose, which is nice. This is the box of bags. There were 6, but I've used one. There's a pile of the green things, but that's all my green things, not just the green things that were with it already. Here's all the paperwork. We'll start with this one. I find this bit quite interesting, because on the back we're advertising a camera, which has nothing to do with Sebo. But you'll see Sebo X4, Devon. There's the famous photo of a Sebo cleaning a palace in Africa or something. Oh, the White House. I just said that was Africa. Oops. Why did I say that was Africa? I do not know. Ah, it's South Africa, is it no? I'm sure it's South Africa. I'm sure that's what MVAC said, Manchester Vac said. Hey, blah blah blah, how cool are Sebo basically is what that's saying. This booklet, it's got the X1.1, X4 and X5. Quite like an X5. Yeah, I'm sure that's South Africa. Sebo gives you over 20 years of use. Wow. There's our photos of what you can do with your X4. You can hoover the bathroom. You can study the PCB in your spare time. You can hoover the stairs. And they have the backwards facing dusting brush clip. Now I had one of them off an X1. And I thought, why didn't I use it with my X4? But shown there, it is the older white type. And even though the literature show that at this time you would have had the white brush, I couldn't bear it because it didn't match the grey tools. Whereas the original brush, which is a smaller type, is grey and it matches, so I didn't end up using that in the end. X1.1. You can take the brush roll out if you need a bit of fun on a Saturday night. Hoover the kitchen. Oh, look at that posh sink. Yep, still in the kitchen. Again, study the belts if you've got time on your hands. Oh, here's all our fancy extras. I'm quite tempted to try a green brush roll just to see what happens. Oh, look, it's the Sebo K1. Got one of them, 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 not to brag. Ugh, don't got one of them. Yeah, dog, children, Sebo cleans them all. K3 Premium, Felix Classic. Oh, I'd quite like a Felix Classic. Yep, your Sebo dealer. Yep, my dealer. He meets me in a dark alleyway every night. Let's see, Pure Performance. Look, it's an X1.1. It tells you about how cool Sebo are. You can hoover the stairs again. Go under your posh upholstered chair. Again, more extras. Oh, it opens out this way. Oh, look, there's a little family again. Mummy, daddy, son, dog. Paper bags. Ooh. Yep, the K. Is that a K1 again? Oh, that's the older type K1. Don't worry, the last piece of literature I'm going to ramble through and make not that funny jokes. Oh, this looks boring. Yep, turn it on, turn it off. Who can be bothered with that? Instructions. Although, until I read the instructions, I didn't actually know how the hose worked. Well, I knew how it worked, but I was doing it incorrectly. So to use this was infuriating me at the start of using this. Because whenever you take this out, you pull the hose out, then the hose with the suction would just drag itself back in. But you have to pull the hose until it clicks. And it's going to be hard to do one-handed, but see, you heard it click? Now the hose will not get drawn in and out. So yeah, that was a really good discovery. So once I figured that out, I liked using it. It didn't fit yet, and of course when you put it in its wee notch, it feeds the hose back in. When I got it, the wand was actually in backwards. So yeah, how to Sebo 101. Anyway, let's look inside my magic Sebo bag before we demo it. This is all Sebo stuff that I've had. This is the bags I'm actually using in it, the cloth ones. Right, I've no idea what happened there. We were talking about cloth bags and the camera just closed. So anyway, back to the Sebo bag. This is the wee wall and floor brush. Now I had one of these originally that was brand new, but then I sold my Sebo X1 and sold this with it to boost its value. But I ended up getting a job lot of Sebo tools off eBay, which is where this came, which apart from being faded, is perfect. And there's that, in case you want to use your Sebo bagless. Here's two poles. I cleaned one but didn't clean the other. This one is distorted and it's not been cleaned. However, this one has been cleaned and is not distorted. Both were from that little job lot. That, I've had that for ages. That came with the bag. Radiator brush. This came with that tools job lot. This is actually the crevice tool I use with this because it's so mashed I don't mind mashing it against all the skirting boards and everything. That's a brief run through the tools. They're not that exciting. That's alright if you've got delicate floors. It was rubbish on the X1 because the X1 had pretty poor suction, but on the X4 it's alright. Let's chuck those bags in. Might as well put the paperwork in as well, tidy everything up. I should really put that in a folder and put it in amongst my paperwork. There's our filter box, which those bags will probably just get used on Sebos or sold with Sebos because I don't like paper bags. Extension hose, which actually I very rarely use because I mainly use this next door where there's actually carpets to use it on, and that's a bungalow, so who needs to hoover stairs in a bungalow? Let's chuck this in. The box is a bit heavy, but it's fine. That was a really loud smoke you just let out there. Yep, that's all messily been shoved back in, but I'll demonstrate the little mini turbo brush before I say goodbye. Let's go and plug this in. That non-original plug still makes me shudder. Shug, are you ready to get a bit of your fright here? Shug! Wake yourself up. Hey Berkeley. Open those eyes for a minute because I'm going to put the Sebo on. Right, it'll be in the lowest position I think because I usually finish on a piece of hard floor. So I'll shove it on the hard floor and you'll probably hear that noise that I mean on hard floors. Oh, we're going up. Oh, that's not coming out. We're going down again. Yeah, so it feels like it's grinding the floors. But it's actually not scratching because it glides very smoothly. I'm going to raise it up to put the thing up a bit. Now if I pull this hose out, again the hose spikes you constantly. One-handed it is more difficult. There we are. That works pretty smashing, doesn't it? Anyway, I'll shove that back in a second. Let's try it on the shag rug, because I think it does actually work on the shag. As long as you let the height go up a bit, otherwise it will just seize up on the rug. Right, let me see. If I just, pardon me, move the cable around your shug, because you're clearly one getting up there. Come on. Just no phased at all, are you? Hey, you wee shug. Where are your limbs? You've lost your limbs. Anyway, this video's been crazy, hasn't it? Can't say it's not fun watching me. Anyway, let's give this a go. That needs to go up a bit before I push it forward. Right. bit tricky, but it really does work. It really does actually deep clean this rug. And you can watch it roll up. You can watch it roll again afterwards. And if I take it off the floor, the red light will go on. Like that. That's just telling you, oh, there's no resistance on the brush. Check the brush is alright. Yeah, that's tricky to use, but wow, it really does work. There's only this and the Miele Revolution, really, and some cruddy Vax one time that worked on this rug. I'm not really a fan of this rug, but I don't get a say in the matter. You love it though, don't you? It's your sleeping throne. Yes. So yeah, that was the Sebo X4. Hope you enjoyed. It's hard to enjoy it, but oh well. Thank you for watching. See you in the next video.